Hey guys, welcome to Project Metal Music's YouTube channel with your host El Young, and we are here with Diego and Josh from um, is it Kabuki?
Kabuki.
Kabuki, cool. So welcome guys,
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us here.
my pleasure. So guys, could you introduce yourselves and what you do within the band?
Absolutely. So my name is Diego Ibanez. Good last name, but I don't play the guitar. I am the vocalist of the band.
Cool, cool,
Yeah, good to be here. My name's Josh, and I play bass in the band, and also do a lot of our kind of set writing and like production stuff.
cool. So guys, let's dive into some questions. As kids, what were you listening to?
Go for it, Josh.
So for me, I think when I was younger, I listened to a lot of like 80s Big Four thrash metal, and I was really into that scene. Um, and then I sort of grew up in the 2000s, so the whole kind of new metal wave were huge for me in the sort of early metalcore scene. So I'm definitely leaning to the heavier side growing up. I think there's probably some of my big influences, so like top bands like Metallica, Testament, Slayer, that kind of stuff, and then moving into like that early metalcore, Bullet for My Valentine, Trivium, uh, like early Avenged Sevenfold kind of stuff. So those are probably some of the big ones.
Yeah. For me, when it comes to what I grew up with, you just want to know that, or also what I'm listening to right now, because they're very different answers.
Yeah,
A little bit of
both.
everything. Well, my love for rock, metal, punk, emo, that was born with Rammstein. With Rammstein, I started discovering other industrial metal bands. Death Stars, Rob Zombie, Tourmion Catilot, a bunch of random weird European ones. And eventually I started loving as well glam metal, from Motley Crue, Rat, Poison, to more modern ones like Reckless Love or Hardcore Superstar. That evolution took me to start discovering bands from every genre. I like to do that in all aspects of my life: video games, literature, movies. I like to listen to some thrash metal bands, some metalcore bands, some punk, pop punk, even some pop, and a little bit of everything, to the point that right now my favorite bands, there's a bunch of emo there, like Bring Me the Horizon, Asking Alexandria, Rammstein still there, but I also love shock rock, as you can tell by how we look in the band. I love Ghost, for example, or the Black Veil Brides.
Cool, cool, cool. So, who got you into listening to music? Yeah, was it your parents, a sibling, or was it sort of like your journey of self-discovery?
That's a good question. So I think for me, in my household growing up was definitely not a rock or metal environment. It was a lot of reggae, a lot of like Britpop, a lot of stuff in the 90s like that. And but it was just always on. There was always a CD playing, a tape playing, the radio was always on. So music was just always kind of a part of like growing up. I think it was a school trip to like Calais or something when I was like 11, and Saint Anger had just come out, and I was like looking for which album can I buy to piss my mum off the most, and there was this orange CD with a big fist on it. I was like, I've got to try it, and that was the first kind of rock alternative album I bought. But I think that journey started much younger, when like music was just always on, so it was always just around. And let's just start from there.
Cool.
Yeah, for me it was just pure curiosity, which has happened to me different times of my life with other art forms. I was just wondering at some point, why are there so many guys that dedicate this not only to be the music they listen to, but also it's a life form. You black clothing, long hair, tattoos. What brings them there? So I started listening to some bands. I also at the same time started listening to a little bit of rap, especially Spanish. Not so much American, but metal won over. I found some songs that clicked with me. I remember America by Rammstein was one of them. Then I discovered Sona, also by Rammstein, Ace of Spades by Motorhead. And little by little, I discovered more bands, more songs, but it was pure curiosity, nothing else.
Cool, cool, cool. Um, got a question from Lisaboo, who's all the way from Canada, and she asks, "How did you pick the band's name?"
Yeah, well, first of all, kabuki is a real Japanese word. Kabuki can be compared to something like opera or theater. It's a way of art that they had over there. We were thinking of having a band that will be visually special. We were thinking of wearing colorful clothing and face paint. But we knew that face paint was related a lot to more like extreme metal, other than a few shock rock bands, Misfits, Kiss, etc. And we decided that the band also needed to lean a lot into, again, art. I keep talking about art, so songs that explore and talk about different mediums of art. And we found out that kabuki in Japan was a very elegant and visually impactful way of theater, where the actors, again, have face paint and colorful clothing, etc. And we thought that it could represent what the band wanted to communicate as well. Also, because if you divide the word kabuki in syllables, kabuki, it has a second meaning, which is sing, dance, and jump. And also because it's a way of theater that gives the members of the bands a way to play different characters and embrace their personalities with the makeup and the poses, etc.
Cool, cool. Thank you for that, Lisa. Um, we got another question from Aussie from Australia, Aussie Queen 2026. What is your most favourite song that inspired you?
I don't think I could pick one song. I think that changes day to day or week to week. I right now I'm probably not listening to a lot of rock or metal songs. I'm listening to a lot of K-pop and a lot of like pop music at the moment. But I couldn't pick one song. Like it just changes depending on the time of day. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you, Diego.
I mean, it's similar to you, it depends. But I'd say that I like to make people feel emotion, not just have simple fun or whatever it is, excitement, sadness, anger with every song. One that immediately comes to mind it's "Bad Life" by Bring Me the Horizon with Sigrid, which is a pop singer. That song it was very impactful to me during a dark period of my life, and that song inspired me to make people feel the same way. Good, obviously. I don't want them to feel bad or anything like that. Just to reflect their own emotions in the song and feel identified by it.
Cool, cool, cool. Thank you for that, Ozzy. So, uh, were you in any bands prior to starting Kabuki?
Josh has his own band. Josh, sell it.
I'm not going to plug my other band. So I was in a
You should.
band maybe 10 years ago or something called Desolate Horizon, and we were a small band based up near Preston in northwest England. The guys from that have gone on to form quite a good metal band called Shrike at the moment. So if you're into that kind of stuff, like, do check them out. And we did a few gigs around the northwest and stuff, and wrote a few songs, released a little EP and stuff, but nothing serious prior to that. And then, yeah, Diego tries to put me in it. I've got a solo project, a bit of a heavier solo project called Glass Cage. People like that kind of stuff, but yeah, I do that sort of outside of Kabuki.
Yeah. I'm originally from Spain, so while I was in Spain during my university years, I was in a couple of bands. The first one was very commercial. I wouldn't say pop punk, but commercial punk, very simple kind of band inspired by bands like Bad Religion. It was fun, nothing too special. And then I moved into a groove metal band. It wasn't my thing, but it was way more serious than the previous one. That band disbanded. Eventually, I moved to London. This is really the first and only proper serious band I've been here with. I've been in another one very briefly, like 3 rehearsals, but it went nowhere. It was with some university students here. They weren't composing songs. They didn't have a plan, even when I suggested it. So I was like, maybe this is not for me. but good luck, guys. And then Kabuki was created, and this is the best band I've ever been in, with the best members and the coolest stuff ever.
Cool, cool. Right, we got a question from Gunner Girl, and she asks, "What kind of music do you play?"
So I think I'd describe it as kind of pop punk emo. I always describe it as sort of if My Chemical Romance and Green Day had a pink baby. Is how I've often described it. But I think we've got so that pop punk emo style more generally. But I think we mix in a lot more theatrics and a lot more like concept stuff behind the characters in each song, and we try and get through each song. So if you like a dance rather than a mosh, it's probably the type of stuff for you.
Cool.
Yeah, that will be a good answer. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for that, Gunner Girl. What have you been up to, especially over the last 12 months or so?
So actually, Josh is a new member. I mean, we've been together now for a bunch of months, but for a while we were looking for new members. So Josh and one of our guitarists, Liam, joined us, and we started rethinking what the band wanted to communicate and what we wanted to do with it. First of all, we modify our characters a little bit visually. Josh had the idea of telling a story on stage. So we already had the theatrics, we already had the props, and we already had rehearsed sets with show parts in between songs. But basically, Josh came out with a script of a specific story with narration parts that we're telling in between the songs, with specific choreography and props used to represent the different parts of the story. At the moment, it's the fall into madness of the character that I was previously, Prince Okuni, into the new one, the Marquise, as some sort of guy that was very happy, and eventually some dark things in life made him go a little bit insane. And I'm trying to find the other members of the band, who I call the legendary gods or myth creatures known as Kabuki, to get into the ecstasy of music and to grow as much as I can, etc. This means that we basically have a new set that we're playing live. The first time we're gonna do this in a big way is gonna be on the 1st of November, Halloween weekend on Bush Hall here in London. And also, we are writing new songs. We recently joined as well Reaction Management. So we're very excited to see what happens. New songs, new sets, new characters, and hopefully a great next year.
Cool. So could you tell us what you've been up to, like new material that you've just been writing?
Yeah, so we've been writing a lot of new songs over the summer. So when I joined Kabuki at the start of the year, they already had a sort of back catalogue that was released, and where at the moment we're sort of going back through that back catalogue and really trying to get it out so people can hear it. But behind that, we've probably got like 3 or 4 new songs that are basically written. We just need to start recording them, and we're starting to play them live as well. And we're starting to think a little bit more when we're writing songs about the concept of the band and the concept of each character and telling a story with each song, or a different angle to the story or part of it. That's kind of what we've been up to, like writing that set list and writing that that story that Diego's talked about, creating the live show that Diego talked about, but also sort of building up some new material for myself and some of the other new members as well, like bringing those influences into the band a little bit more. And so we're really excited. Probably in the next couple of months, we'll start to have some new stuff coming out, in addition to the back catalogue, which we're super, super excited about.
Yeah, if you come to our gig on the 1st of November, for example, or any next one, you're going to be able to enjoy, as an example, a new song that Josh wrote, Butterfly, which, and I help with the lyrics, which the theme, it has a double meaning. Literally, it's talking about a butterfly that doesn't fit with other bugs. There's a couple of metaphors there. One, it's about musical bands like us, not liking being categorized as one genre and liking to mix different things. And it's also a little bit of kind kind of a reflection of what a person during a transitional period, I'm talking about trans people, like gender transitions, can go through, and how they can suffer not being accepted and knowing that they're going to go through a very rough period. So again, a lot of meanings in the song, but it's a very beautiful one. It has a bit of a goth tone, which Josh has a natural talent to write kind of more goth songs. It's very cool.
Cool, cool. Would there be a sort of like an album coming from this writing session?
I think we're focusing on singles, and maybe an EP. I think when we've spoken about doing an album, and we want to do a real write up a whole bunch of new stuff for an album that is like a fully sort of concept style album. So the album itself is a musical essentially. And I think so we're focusing on singles for the moment, but I think there's potential that next year we might start thinking about some kind of a debut concept album, and really like sit down and write a story for that, which I think we're super excited about as well.
Cool, cool. So would there be sort of like any merchandise to link with the singles?
Yeah, so we've got we've got a new line of t-shirts coming out and merch coming out. So hopefully we'll get that all online as well. Or you can, if you're in London or the UK, come down to a show and pick them up. But we've got a whole bunch of new ideas as well for merch. Again, with each song being kind of its own concept, and hopefully with an EP or an album next year having a theme to it, the merch kind of stems out of that, where there'll be sort of not limited edition, but linked to that theme, and really help. Everything is designed to tell that story, whatever that story is. So yeah, loads of good ideas and stuff that will definitely be linked up to it.
Cool, cool. We've got a question from Lisaboo. She asks, "What is your process for writing your music?"
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever verbalized my process before. I think a lot of it is, I find it quite a solitary thing. So I will be at home just noodling around and have an idea. I often start with like a mood or a feeling or an emotion that I want to try and convey in the song. I'll do a bit of writing. I'll write some parts, and I'll send them to Diego, send them to the other guys, and let them have an input, or they'll have an input into it, and then we sort of build the song from there. It could happen someone else starts that writing process. That's just what it is for when I start that process. I think what we're really clear on though is we all have like I talk about this concept all the time, right? The concept of a song or the concept of a set of songs. And so I was kind of thinking and discussing like lyrically, what do we want the theme to be? Which part of the story are we telling here? Whose angle are we talking about? And I think that's what like then drives the emotion that I then start creating the music or the lyrics for, or the melody for, and building it out from there. So I think that's kind of the process. It starts off very isolated and solitary, and it becomes more of a group thing. I think with like modern tech, it's so easy to do it when we have to be in the same room at the same time. So we can really go away and think about those ideas and like develop them, rather than having that pressure of coming up with it in the moment all the time, at least. So
yeah, inspiration comes in different ways. Sometimes I just come up with a melody. I don't know how to play the piano, for example, to get my notes right or whatever, but I know how to whistle very well. That helps me find good melodies, and from there I start writing the lyrics. If Josh or Liam send me a song they've written, I try to see, maybe they haven't, as Josh says, maybe they've written only the base of it, but I can start seeing the feelings that song make me feel. So I can not only start whistling over it and then singing melodies to see what goes well there, where I will find things to be a bit impactful and commercial, especially with the choruses. But I will also start saying, like, what do I feel with this song? What kind of lyrics can I write about it? Sometimes I just get the title of the song and I start developing from there. It depends. Some songs require a couple of days of thinking until you get the right idea. Inspiration sometimes it's not there, but when it's there, you start writing and you get something cool.
Cool, cool. Thank you for that, Lisa. Um, we've got another question from Aussie Queen. She says, I have to ask, any plans for final, even a limited run with funds ready?
Not immediately. Any physical stuff or any merchandise we create, being on a serious hundreds or thousands of pounds that we need to start making. We're working on a process where our merchandise gives us some gains, where hopefully we start making more money with gigs. But until that starts happening, vinyl is not an immediate thing. We're focusing more on digital stuff by the moment. And if you don't have access to places like Spotify, Apple Music, etc., we will always post our music as long as we can on YouTube as well. So there will be ways for people to listen to it. Would I love to have vinyl in the future? Trust me, I love it. Again, as I say, I love every artistic part of the band, including single covers and extras in the vinyl. So it's a dream that I hope it will happen eventually.
Cool, cool. Thank you for that, Ozzy. Um, so, uh, where c- um, where can people find you on social media, just to keep up to date with what's going on?
Well, a lot of places. Our main socials are Facebook and Instagram that we're focusing on. Not so much TikTok nowadays, but on Instagram and Facebook, you're gonna get weekly content, like 3 4 posts a week, plus stories. You want to know when we're gonna release a new song, where we're gonna have another gig, or you want us to check how we look. As we said, we look very weird. So you go there. Our Facebook and Instagram handles are the same, Band Kabuki altogether. And we also usually link our Linktree. Our Linktree will also direct you to any ticket links that we may have for future gigs. It will also take you to our YouTube channel, which is also Band Kabuki, and it will take you to website, to Spotify, etc. But if you go to any of our socials, especially Band Kabuki on Facebook or Band Kabuki on Instagram, you're gonna find the links for the link tree, and then you'll get the links to everything else. So it's very easy. But again, look for Band Kabuki, and you'll find us.
Cool, cool. We got a question from Lisaboo. She asks, "Is there an artist, musician that you would love to collaborate with?"
Many.
And in like a dream world, if it could be anyone, I think with the style of band that we are and the music that the type of music we create and our image, I think someone like Ghost, um, Diego already mentioned like Black Veil Brides, but someone in that, or like Baby Metal or something like that, someone in that realm would be obviously incredible. Maybe not realistic at this stage, but I think yeah, like if we're being like just dreaming, I'm not sure more locally. There's a few cool bands that we play gigs with. Like yeah, a few good ones that similar kind of vibe, but I'm not sure they'd be up for a collaboration. Don't want to drop them in it.
Ideally, yeah, there's so many. You said Baby Metal, for example, Ghost. But I would also love to collaborate with people that play other genres, a rapper, a pop singer, and see what comes out of it. So that will be great as well.
For sure,
Cool,
absolutely.
cool. Sort of like going on a similar theme. If you come up with a song, who would you sort of like write a song for?
That's interesting.
Can you repeat the question? Excuse me, I couldn't hear the beginning.
Yeah, if you wrote a song and it
Yeah.
sort of like doesn't fit in with what you're creating with Kabuki,
Yeah.
who would you write for?
Oh.
So I think I've got my sort of a solo thing with my glass cage stuff. So when I'm not writing for Kabuki, I'm writing for that, and that's like a natural outlet. So yeah, maybe Diego's a better one to answer, gives a more honest answer.
Oof, I like to absolve my art in many ways. So if I wasn't writing for Kabuki, I will do all this stuff that wouldn't be writing music specifically. For example, again, I think video games are an art form, and I like to experience all of them. And I work in them. So in a way, I'm helping make some art. If it came to music and bands, something creative as well. I don't know exactly what, but I like to think that I have for good or for bad, I have a very creative mind. I come up with ideas very quickly. Again, they might be bad, but I have a lot of ideas always, so I will come up with something like that. As long as I'm making people feel emotion, the genre could change a little bit. As long as I'm having fun, you know. That as we're talking about, the music of a band like Ghost, it's something that I love, or the music of a band like Bring Me the Horizon is something that I love. So I could go into something like that.
Cool. Cool. So, are you planning on any sort of like tours?
So I don't think we're putting together a full tour. Big tours are expensive, and we've all got full-time jobs, kind of stuff. But we're certainly looking to start playing more and more shows around the UK, over weekends and stuff, and moving out of London a little bit. So going to Manchester, Bristol, Cardiff, Glasgow, Leeds, just to name a few. But playing outside of London, and yes, I won't call it a tour, but we're looking to be pretty active in 2026, playing shows most weekends, and trying to get Kabuki out there to the world, or to the rest of the UK at least. I think dream would be, hopefully we end up doing some good festivals next summer. That's definitely what we're aiming for. And then if a tour comes out of that, that would be fantastic. But that's definitely the first step.
Yep, we're planning little things, again, no tools, but we're already talking to our management about, for example, a weekend in Scotland. We could go probably to Glasgow, Edinburgh. That will be very fun at the beginning of the year. And yeah, same with the festivals. By now we have one, and it's this Sunday in Manchester. So anybody in Manchester, if you come to Slammer Festival, we'll be there.
Cool. Cool. So, sort of like staying on with like sort of the tour, if you had everything aligned, you got the financial backing, you got the time off work, would you sort of like go over to Europe, or possibly go over into North America?
Everywhere that we have the potential to become big. And if we don't have the potential to become big, I will hope that we can work in a way that maybe we open for a band that can give us that opportunity somewhere there. But yeah, the dream is to tour the world. I want to tour. I want to play in as many countries as we can and bring our music, that I will hope makes a lot of fans happy, bring it all around the world to make them feel those emotions that people in London, for example, or Manchester next time, they can feel. I don't know about Josh, if maybe you have a specific place.
I mean, I was only going to add that as if we had all the backing and all the stuff in place, we've got to go to Japan, right? We're a Japanese-inspired, Japanese-themed band of a Japanese name. Like, it would be a missed opportunity not to go and take all that backing and go play Tokyo or something, which would be amazing. But yeah, exactly what Diego said, right? Like, yeah, of course, we'd love to tour in Europe, America, Australasia, Asia, if we could. But that's definitely the goal.
Cool. So, guys in the chat, if you've got any more questions, please ask away. We're going to be starting to wrap things up in about 5-10 minutes or so. So, any advice for people who want to become a musician, whether for their own personal sort of like pleasure, or possibly going down the commercial road?
I think I would say just do it. Music doesn't have to be in a band, doesn't have to be on stage. Like, music for me started just playing at home and playing for myself, performing in front of my mirror, pretending I was at Wembley, which I still do regularly. And that enjoyment never goes. So like, just start. And I think the other thing is, if you're going to pick up an instrument or any kind of music related activity, be kind to yourself. Like, it's to start out is really frustrating. You're bad at it. It takes a long time to get good, but keep at it and just be kind and keep going, because really why you're doing it is because you like the music you're playing, and you just want to play along, and it's not about being perfect or anything like that. So as long as you're always enjoying it, keep doing it. And if band stuff happens and comes out of it, like, amazing, right? But as the minute you stop enjoying playing your instrument or singing or whatever it might be, or music production or whatever it is, then then it's time to stop doing it. So just make sure you're always having fun with whatever that musical passion or endeavor is. That'd be my advice.
I agree. My first advice to anybody that wants to sing and never had the courage to do it, go for some singing classes. Start with that, get some technique, train. You'll only be singing to your teacher, and little by little, you'll get the shame out. And if you're giving lessons to practice at home, do them. I know it's hard. If you live with your family, with flatmates, whatever, find a way, take the shame out, and just go for it. Little by little, you're going to see results. If you want to be in a band, become big, not just for fun, but try to do something cool and professional, Josh already said, which the two main things are, nothing's going to be given to you, at least not most of the time. So you need to work hard. And the second point is have a lot of fun. If you're not having fun, there's not a point of doing this. There's always going to be times, and again, when it comes to art, this happened to whoever, filmmakers, game makers, book writers. There's going to be times where after a few months of being very motivated about a project, your motivation is going to be a bit down because your life is going through some other stuff. And you're like, oh, I don't know if this is working well, whatever. If you resist, if you hang on, because those moments are going to happen, the motivation will come back and eventually things will start working well for you. But yeah, good things happen to those who work hard, but don't forget to have a lot of fun with this.
I think the other thing is, if you're going to make music or play music, make it or play it for yourself, not for who listens to it. If you make something or play something that is authentic to you, people will resonate with it, rather than trying to like fit into a box of what you think people will like, right? So I think those would be my final bit of advice as well.
Cool. Sound advice there. Sound advice. Yeah, I've got a comment from Gunner Girl. She says, if I could sing, I would do that.
Everybody can. Unless you have a vocal problem that blocks you, trust me, everybody that thinks, no, I sing very badly, I'll never get there. No, it's because of this. Even you can. I didn't sing well when I was younger, but I just knew I wanted to sing. Your teacher will adapt to your voice, will give you nice songs, and little by little, trust me, you will get there. Give it a try. You never know. Just give it a try.
Nah, I'm with Gunner Girl on this. Diego says anyone can sing, and if anyone's heard me sing, people don't agree with that. I definitely can't. So I feel her pain.
Right, we've got a couple of comments. Lisaboo says, thank you so much for coming on. And same with Ozzy, thank you so much. So we're going to be starting to wrap things up. Have you got any final words before we go?
I don't think anything much. I think check us out, have a listen. If you like us, let us know. Leave a comment on something that we do or one of our videos or social media pages. All we want to do is make music that we enjoy and hope that you guys enjoy it too. And if you're around in the UK for any of our shows, come down, check us out, because I'll tell you now, our show, our music on record or streaming is so different to how we play it live. It really is like going to see a musical, going to the theatre, coming to see us. So if you have the opportunity, do come check us out, and let us know what you think if you could do go and listen to the songs, because we love to hear that kind of feedback.
I'd say that we definitely offer something different from what most bands offer. And even though those that have theatrical elements, that usually their show is very different in a way. Come see us and follow us on socials. I can tell you this, we will make an impact. You might love us, you might hate us, but you will have an opinion about us because we're not your regular band. So check us out, and thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, I'll always love us, Diego, obviously. No one will hate us.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been
My
great.
Pleasure. So guys, in the chat, if you haven't checked out Kabuki, please do. I've put all the links down in the description, and I know the moderators have been putting out the links to the socials and everything. So go check them out. You won't be disappointed. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, and yeah, we'll catch you all later.
Amazing. Thank you very much, guys. Until
So
next time.